Merev Rabbi say, Klal Yisrael this week is entering into a very special time period, an auspicious tekufa, the days of Shovavim. Shovavim are days, as is taught to us by the Sfarim, the Sifrei Kabbalah and the Sifrei Halacha, days that are mesugel for each and every one of us to be mesakin ourselves and to pick ourselves up, especially in the areas of Kedusha and Shmiras Einayim. Shovavim is different from all other tkufas that we have throughout the year. Whereas all tkufas in our calendar are dependent on the date of the month on which that day falls upon, the tkufa of Shovavim is dependent on the Parshas Hashavua, the weeks that we read the Parshas starting from Shemos through Parshas Mishpatim. And the Sfarim tell us that in a year like this year, an Iber, a Shana Me'uberes, Shovavim lasts through Parshas Tetzaveh. It's called Shovavim Tat. What is the inyan and what is the reason that the Parshas of Shovavim and on an Iber, the Parshas of Shovavim Tat are so mesugel for each and every yachid to pick himself up, to become closer to the Rabbi Shalom? And the Pashat Pshat that all the Svarim tell us is because when we learn the Parshas of Yetzias Mitzrayim, of the Galus of Mitzrayim and the Yetziah from Mitzrayim, we are not only discussing the physical bondage that Klal Yisrael was in under Parei and the Mitzrayim, but we are discussing the Ruchniistic Galus, that each and every one of us is an Eved to our Yetzer Hara. The Rambam writes in a letter to his son, "My dear son, you should know that Parei symbolizes the Yetzer Hara, and Mitzrayim symbolizes our guf. And the Avodah of Yetzias Mitzrayim is for each and every Yachid to have the chance and have the opportunity to pick ourselves out of the blotta of the bondage to the Yetzer Hara and become close to the Rabbi Shalom. And whereas on a regular year, that Avodah finishes with the Parshas of Mishpatim, which the end of Parshas Mishpatim is Matan Torah, on a Shana Me'uberes, we continue it for another 2 weeks, until the Parshas of Hakamas HaMishkan, as the Ramban tells us at the beginning of Parshas Shemos, that the Geula is only finished in its entirety when each and every Yachid returns V'shavu el Mailas Avaisam, and each and every individual can become a Merkava for the Shechina HaKedesha, as we know that the Mishkan is not only discussing the physical building, but it's discussing V'shachanti b'seicham b'seich kol echad ve'echad. So come, join me on this journey through the weeks of Shovavim. Let us try together to be mechazik ourselves, to free ourselves from our Yetzer Hara, to try a little bit to pick ourselves up from our Mitzrayim, and to try that we can become a Merkava for the Shechina HaKedesha. How do we start? Let us look at the Parsha of Yetzias Mitzrayim in this week's Parsha, Parshas Shemos. What was the first step of Klal Yisrael towards the Geula? The Pasuk tells us that when the Golus got so bad, Klal Yisrael's response was Vayeonchu b'nei Yisrael min ha'aveda. Klal Yisrael krechtzt. They were in pain from the Aveda. Vayizaku, and Klal Yisrael cried out to Hashem. And as the Pasuk in Parshas Kisavai tells us when repeating the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim, that the first step was Vanitzak el Hashem Eloikei Aveiseinu. We cried out to Hashem. The first step of our Geula, from our Shibud to our Yetzer Hara, is for each and every one of us to try, to cry out to Hashem, Tati, it's so hard. I can't. Wherever I go, whenever I go, the Yetzer Hara is always there. He gets me. He's bothering me. It's so hard for me. Hashem, please help. Without you, I can't do it. I need you to release me from his bondage. And with that tefillah and the recognition of the tzara in which we are in the fact that the Yetzer Hara has such control over us, and the recognition that only Hashem can take us out and that he's waiting for us to cry to him, is the first step towards our geula. But what can someone do if he can't even daven? Sometimes the nature of this Yetzer Hara is that it puts us into a low. We don't believe in ourselves. We don't have that relationship, that shaykhis to the Rabbi Shalom, to be able to plead. And the Yismach Yisrael in this week's Parsha tells us a fascinating thing. He says, if you look in the Pasuk, the Torah doesn't tell us that Klal Yisrael davened. It says Klal Yisrael screamed out to Hashem, and he brings from his father. Do you know what Klal Yisrael said? Oy vey. A cry of pain. They expressed their pain. They didn't even have that emotional strength to reach out to the Rabbeinu Shalom and to daven like a mensch. But they started. They were in pain and they screamed out, Oy vey tata. And that was the beginning of the Geula. And he brings from a Sefer Tzror Hamor that teaches a pasuk in Tehillim. The pasuk in Tehillim says, Shima tfilosi Hashem, v'shavasi ha'azino, el dimosi al techerash. That sometimes a person turns to the Rabbeinu Shalom with tefillah. Shima tfilosi Hashem. But at times, we can't even do that. But the minimum that we can do is we can v'shavasi ha'azino, we can turn to you. We can plead, we can beg, not with tefillah, but with expressing the pain in which we are going through, in the fact that the Yetzer Hara has such control over us. So let us use this week, the first week of Shovavim, to try to connect to the pain in which we are in because of our Yetzer Hara, and to try to reach out to the Rabbeinu Shalom with tefillah, with tza'aka, with a krechts. Tati, please help. And that will be the beginning of our Geula from our Yetzer Hara. And we'll be able to be zeicha to the hiskarvus, to the Rabbeinu Shalom, to become again a merkava l'shchina.